Hey guys, I'd like to first start off by apologizing. It's been so long for me to get back to making videos. As you can kind of see behind me, we've ran into some unfortunate circumstances. I'm not going to go into that now. For now, I'm going to do what the video is meant for. Then towards the end, I'll explain what's been going on with us. Therefore, people who, only care about what we're doing and not care about who we are will get what they're looking for, and then we can go into the more personal side of it. But today we're doing a, they call it a PCV delete on my GTI. It's not technically a delete, but basically you're deleting the kind of control valve and reverting back to only using the rear PCV instead of venting through the intake manifold. So I didn't actually buy a PCV delete. I bought a catch can adapter, which is what this is. And you can see it's got threaded bungs on it. And I want to try it both ways. That's why I went with this over just a normal PCV delete. But all a PCV delete differs by is there's a channel back here that connects those two ports. So basically I can turn this into a PCV delete by running a piece of tubing through it. And this is just quarter-inch fuel line and a little bit of RTV around it to make it, or make sure it seals, make sure it stays placed. This one, I'm not sure if you guys can see, is from 034 Motorsports. Probably about the best deal on this kind of thing. The only thing I don't like about it is these are dash 10 and fittings, which is a little bit bigger than we need. But either way, I'm going to get to an install. If you need one of these, check out 034 Motorsports. I think they even have the delete too. But the reason I'm doing both ways is just to see if there's a difference. Try to be scientific about it. So a few months down the road, I'll hook up a catch can setup, and then we'll see if you can actually notice the difference in anything, like in between oil changes or oil consumption or whatever, that kind of thing. So cut to install. Okay guys, so this is going to be a little bit of a tricky one. I'm going to try to do all of this while balancing an umbrella and using one hand. So if I have to set you down for a second, please understand. And can I get a thumbs up for my country club style rigging here? These are actually wine corks to block everything off while I was waiting for parts. This one's always a big pain in the rear end. Okay, and we're off. Alright, so you got that one out of the way. Plenty of room to get to that bolt. I think that's all of them. So I'm going to put you guys down and get these screws out, and I'll come back to you. Okay, here's what it looks like with everything off. Always change your gasket before you put the new one in. Okay, so we got the flange kind of loosely bolted into place. Then you start tightening up. You can see it's kind of a lot less bulk to it than what this used to have. And this is a little ugly, but it'll be under the factory engine cover, so you won't really notice. If you have an intake, then hopefully I'll be able to advise you on one or the other here towards the end and give you guys an update on which one's better. That way you don't, embarrass yourself a little bit looking like, looking hoopty like I am. But either way, I don't really care that much as long as it's functional. At least at the moment. Eventually I will care, but okay. So you just want to snug them all up. I like to use 1/4 inch stuff for this so you don't break anything. It just makes it a little easier. And then this clips right up, or should clip right in, and yeah, should. Sometimes it's necessary to just kind of pack O-rings down. They get a little bit swelled up from being there. Yeah, I'll come back to this. Okay, I got it on, a little finagling. You just kind of have to pull and negotiate with that a little bit, kind of pack that seal in. Right, now for the intake manifold. This is just a boost tap kit with a plug in the end because I don't have a boost gauge yet, but it just slides in there and you rotate that tab around and we're all set. Hopefully this works out pretty good. We'll eventually be coming to you guys with the catch can video and see if it's, worth the extra. I think it's like an extra $150 to do, something legitimate and nice and, all of that stuff. But that's that, and I'll talk to you guys in a second if you want to stick around. Okay guys, thanks for sticking around. So here's what happened. Here's kind of how I ended up in a rough spot. So you guys may have seen the sway bar install video, and I mentioned at the end of that video that the car experienced some boost problems. Well, after some investigation, it turns out it needed a new turbocharger because the wastegate failed. Okay, basically $1,000, but get it back on the road. So the race was Sunday. I kind of diagnosed it like Monday and Tuesday, and then Friday, I wake up to my soon-to-be in-laws knocking on my door. Stephanie, my fiance, who you saw in the spark plug video, was in an accident with the Miata here. This kind of crumpled beer can of an affair at the moment. I don't want to go into details. She can share with you guys later if she wants to, but basically, it's considered our fault. But we had full coverage, so the car's paid for. I'm parting it out. That's not really that big of a deal. I misunderstood the way coverage works in Kentucky, so we may be on the hook for the other car involved in the accident. So that's kind of stressful, and that's something that's kind of hovering over our head. But we'll find that out eventually, hopefully. Or maybe not. Hopefully they can do stuff and keep it off our hands. So basically, if you guys live in Kentucky, personal property damage also includes the car that you get in an accident with, assuming it's at your fault, which is not the way I understood it based on the description that was given on their website. But, when I signed up and edited coverage and all of that stuff. But it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it now. I now do carry more coverage just in case. But, alright. So that was Friday. That weekend we were supposed to go up to Indianapolis, and we did, for our 3-year anniversary. So we went up to Indianapolis. At this time, I'm driving my friend's lifted Subaru, and he's driving my truck because he was having back problems and was having trouble pushing the clutch in on his Subaru, which, after driving that car, I understand completely why. So he was driving my Avalanche. Well, on the way back on Sunday, I get a call. It's him letting me know that the rear end, which I knew it was failing. It had been making noise, and there were definitely reasons why it failed. It had blown up. I'm pretty sure what had happened is it threw a cross pin, and so they had to limp my truck home. Okay. So now we're down the Avalanche and we're down the Miata until I can afford to fix the Avalanche, and you know, the Miata is gone now basically. I'm also still haven't put the turbo on the GTI yet. I didn't have time before vacation and didn't arrive until Friday after the accident. So either way, low down on the priorities. Alright, well, because you can't really drive a Miata in the winter very effectively, or at least you don't want to, Stephanie has a Grand Am, which she had from, you know, before we met, and we decided to keep it around just, you know, for a winter driver. So we get the Grand Am on Sunday after we got home, and then I'm moving the car Tuesday morning, but after I got out of work on Monday, and it pops the brake line. So we had 4 cars. Now we have one drivable car, and it's my GTI, and it has a bad turbo on it. So then I've had to since replace the brake lines on the Grand Am. By the way, fine line brake lines are definitely a good investment if you really don't have time to bend everything yourselves and deal with all of that thing. But anyways, so brake lines are fixed on the Grand Am. Cool. GTI, I had to flush the brake fluid on that too. Got that done. Cool. So we now have 2 cars. My GTI is still broken. Okay. So finally it comes around. We had another autocross event the following weekend. So we did the event, and I didn't want to change the turbocharger until afterwards, so it'd have time to break in. So after that event, I come home, let it cool off, then I change the turbocharger. Cool. So, you know, driving around, just trying to take it easy on it, finally get to a point where I can start putting some boost into it, and apparently the added boost is enough to pop the old PCV valve. So my car that I just fixed is now broken again. So either way, nevertheless, I just showed you guys how I fixed the PCV valve. I had to throw some wine corks in it just to kind of keep it from having a huge lean condition in the meantime. But that's fixed. That's what happened. That's why I haven't had any videos out in a few weeks. It's just been hectic around here, and I really didn't have time to take my time and film. So hopefully you guys will stick with me. Hopefully there won't be as many interruptions. Coming up the pipelines, rear end on the Avalanche now. Eventually catch can on the GTI, and a little bit of stuff in between. My buddy just got a BMW, so we might show you something on that. Not really sure, but either way, thanks you guys for sticking around. If you guys like this video, like, subscribe, and share if you know anybody who needs it. See you guys later.